Good evening, Kenyans. We are back live. Tonight, we want to focus on what happened today. Kalonzo was at it again. This time round is unleashing the NASA Memorandum of Understanding. It's either Raila backs him or there's no deal. He's referring to the NASA memorandum where Raila had agreed to do one term and leave and support Kalonzo 2022. But it will be interesting to understand that the same NASA memorandum he is referring to, it's a NASA that they helped to kill. They came together as Oka principals and decided to kill NASA. Now he's picking the memorandum of NASA to claim that it's still a legal document. So what do you think? We also have had Cleophas Malala responding to one man, Rigathi Gachagua, saying that this guy has 200 plus cases of corruption. He should not, he stole the ICU equipment. He should not be talking to Musalia like that. He has no authority to talk about matters to do with KKA. And then we also have to look at the responses that people have gave. I think even right now, Senator Oledama has had a response to what Kalonzo said. So I'll play a few clips and then I will welcome you guys to participate in this discussion. I'm sharing the link to our comment section. So if you are already joined in, you can join us through the link or make your contribution through the comment section. Okay. So for those, who can't reach us, kindly keep modest comments. We will be sharing live your modest comments. But if you decide to be abusive, I will not even warn you. I will just block you. That is it, because we need to have a honest conversation. We need to have a debate that helps Kenyans, not something that turns into drama and abuses and creating conflict. We are not here to abuse each other. We are here to build the nation. We are here to have constructive criticism if there be, but not abuses. So thank you so much for those who have come. As I'm checking for my clips, I will ask Milan, how are you? How are you, Milan? How are you, Wangira?
I am fine. I am fine.
How are you, Malala? Mala.
Doing well. I'm fine.
My lost
Thank
friend.
you.
Okay. Yeah, I've had a long day. I'm tired, but I hope I will pull through. Let's have Wangira. Make your comment as I look for, I need one or two clips for a recap. Wangira, you're on mute. Huh?
Okay, you want me to start? How are you? How are you, everybody?
We are fine.
You are fine.
Yeah, the
Okay.
privilege of starting is you can have more time. The rest will have three.
Okay. Thank you. Today you are being fair to me. And like your other friend the other time who cut me short. Thank you, Wekesa. So, looking at this new development concerning His Excellency Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, you know, I tend to see a lot of blackmail. You know, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka seems to be blackmailing His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta and Right Honorable Raila Odinga to front him as the Azimio La Umoja candidate. One thing, if you look at that agreement, it's talking of breach. You cannot say that somebody has breached a particular provision of an agreement and you're doing the same breaching, because that agreement is very clear that the only person who can release it is Professor Makao Mutua. It's in black and white, written in that agreement. Then I wonder if that was the agreed provision of the agreement, that only Professor Makao Mutua can release that agreement. Then how come that Kalonzo Musyoka today is releasing that agreement? Why is he releasing that agreement? And he is releasing that agreement as who? In pertaining to this agreement. Again, when I look at Kalonzo Musyoka's statement, he talks of them beginning a new round of negotiation. So, which means he's in agreement that at the end of the day, Wiper Party, One Kenya Alliance, and Azimio will be forced to go into a new round of talks. But then he gives his reasons of releasing this particular report as he gives his reason of releasing this particular agreement as a means of answering the criticisms that have been coming against him. Then you wonder who has been criticizing Kalonzo Musyoka, especially in regard to what the agreement is. Then he goes on accusing Professor Makao Mutua of also breaching the agreement by now supporting Raila Odinga. No, you wonder. Political siding is a matter of choice. If Professor Makao Mutua has chosen that he is going to support Raila Odinga this time round, then how does that one become a betrayal? How does it become a breach on basis of a piece of paper that you are now flying around claiming that is an agreement? How does it bind Professor Makao Mutua in that effect? Does it say that now because you are dissipatory of this particular agreement, you will never support Raila Odinga? You never support Raila Odinga. Then he goes on blaming ODM for all manners of accusations and even portraying ODM as the cause of the collapse of the NASA coalition. Then you wonder if it's ODM that caused the collapse of the NASA coalition, how come that ODM was left alone standing in NASA? In fact, the people who left NASA first were him, Musalia Mudavadi, and Moses Wetangula, through their respective political parties. And they left ODM as the only standing member of NASA. And because the agreement provisions were clear that when any of the three pull out, that causes the collapse of the agreement, that causes the collapse of the NASA coalition. ODM had no other alternative other than now to end up hanging alone as a political party. Then he proposed to give Raila Odinga some options, which I don't understand where this is going to. That either Raila Odinga supports him or blah 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 blah. So, has Kalonzo Musyoka reached that point where it's either his way or the highway? Is he telling Raila Odinga that you must support me or we go the other way? So, to some of us, who are supporters of ODM and who have supported Raila Odinga for a long time and who know the type of political capital we have put in this fight, we feel so much offended. We don't want to go out so much, but we feel so much offended because surely if Kalonzo Musyoka was acting in good faith, there was no need of him releasing this particular agreement. The reason why he released this particular agreement was to blackmail Raila Odinga, to tell him, now you see, there was a piece of paper here that we signed, and now you must either abide by this paper or I go my way. To some of us, these games are becoming too much for us, and we are now ready. If the worst come to the worst, let us continue as Azimio, and we allow Kalonzo Musyoka to run as Kalonzo Musyoka. That's my contribution for now. Asante sana, Wekesa.
Let me ask you one question. Huh?
Yes.
So the guy is coming to an Azimio coalition.
Uh-huh.
And carrying. Okay, the guy is in Oka.
He's in Oka. Uh-huh.
Coming to Azimio coalition.
Yeah.
Carrying another document.
Mm-hmm.
Is it logical?
These are some of the things
the NASA document is carrying. He killed himself. He killed it himself.
Wekesa, I've gotten your point. Your point is this basic, that I was married to wife A, then we divorced, and now I'm moving into my second marriage. And because I'm moving into the second marriage, and my first wife is supposed to be part of the bridal party, now she produces a document which is part of that dissolved marriage, claiming that before we dissolved our marriage, there was this particular agreement. You see, that's what Kalonzo Musyoka is trying to tell us. He's only a member of the bridal party in this Azimio La Umoja coalition, because he will not be the presidential candidate, he will not be the running mate. So he's only a member of the bridal party. So if you're a member of the bridal party, how do you come with your own set of conditions, telling now the bride and the groom that for you to get married, you must meet conditions from my previous marriage? How does it work? Tell me, Wekesa. How does it work? I'm not in a position to understand.
For the
you have another question? Are you through with me, Wekesa?
Who is referred to as Raila Odinga,
yes,
agrees in a public MOU.
That's right.
To serve one term,
yes,
and publicly endorse Principal Q,
yes,
as the presidential candidate in 2022.
Exactly. That's why I'm calling on him. He has two options. Option number one, to adhere to that provision. Option number two, act in defiance. It is his right.
But now that you've come out and you're saying he has two options, either to agree to it, where it would be very important and beneficial to you if he goes ahead and says Kalonzo Tosha,
yes,
or in defiance. But you're still insisting, even in this, you are open to working with him. Why?
Because after deep consultations, my own party and also the One Kenya Alliance has agreed to a three-pillar structured like the Africans do. We have said we are ready to work within a grand coalition of Azimio and Oka. And indeed, the party leader of Jubilee himself has come out to say, in fact, pronounce on that particular formation. Therefore, that is a bigger consideration. Within that bigger framework, we have no option but to work with Raila Odinga.
Then again, you would...
Now, as I bring in my brother Milani. Milani, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Umepotea wapi tena? Yes.
Niko,
So
Niko
let me
area,
ask you, my brother.
yeah.
The guy is going on a negotiation table. He's carrying a different document because he has a team. He has a team called Gideon, Jirongo, and whatever. He's supposed to take them on a negotiation table with Azimio. But here, he's carrying the grievances of NASA, where other people dispersed, the Nini collapsed, and he is now alone. So, what do you make of it? How will Gideon and Jirongo participate in this? Mara today is adding new members. He's adding Moses Kuria. He's adding Martha Karua, and then he's reviving another another memorandum. How do you approach a table of negotiation with such a packages? Kindly make your comment.
For first, I must thank you, Ekesa, for having us on this platform. For the last 3 days, I have been very clear that this is one person who is suffering from inferiority complex. His biggest problem is himself. He suffers from lack of trust deficit for himself, not even for any other candidate. I think that even of the 3 principles that are within OCA 4, he also still don't trust himself to be adequate or to be somebody capable of being a flag bearer. And he knows it. He has not mounted any presidential campaign before they met with the ODM leader in Mombasa. Previous to that, he was only appearing in churches and some funny press conferences. And he wants to prop up his stature as a presidential candidate by mounting flags behind him. The flags will not make him a presidential candidate. But when he has a function, he has to put up 20 flags. Yeah? And look at even his office where he's doing the show. He puts on some funny kind of colors behind him. It's so crowded and cluttered. He needs to tone down on those deficits that he has for him to be able to restructure his thought processes, to be able to allow him to propel him to a serious negotiation. I am almost certain that the other 2 leaders that are within OCA are also wondering what this guy has been up to. You heard what Jirongo said. Jirongo said this has taken far too long. We have waited for this occasion. Raila himself said that Jirongo had to go to his office and beg him to come and attend an NDC. And what did he tell him? That I have other plans. But then Raila had to be convinced to be able to attend that NDC. And even as he got there, he did not know anything about that particular party. But he had to go there as a statesperson to be able to also forge friends. And it appears the body language of Jirongo was cordial to that of the Azimio preferred presidential candidate. The same also goes to Mangidi. You can see the body language during the KANU NDC. Apart from that, in all the rallies that the chairman for KANU has, he's been very clear. He said that he has good intentions. He knows where he's not going to, and he knows where they are headed to. He's alluded to it. He's very clear in his conscience where he wants to go to. The only person that has kept them in the wilderness is this one of a fella who suffers from inferiority complex. He needs to man up. His age does not allow him to behave like this. These are meant for adolescent politicians. At his age and stage and experience, we expect a statesman where when time comes, you choose the country over your selfish good, and therefore you can be able to choose what is right for the country. On his own motion, he's wasted serious opportunities. You saw Mudavadi take advantage of his NDC to make a serious political statement that had got political ramification, that gave the deputy president a bit of a national outlook instead of a Kalenjin outlook. And he did not waste time. And he negotiated. You see, Rigathi Gachagua team are scared to the core that the presidential candidate for Kenya Kwanza Alliance would be able to consider Mudavadi for a running mate. And that scares Akina Rigathi and those kind of cartels. And this is the opportunity that Kalonzo needed to take advantage of. That based on his statement, he could have gotten an opportunity to negotiate something that could be able to help his people and also help him in his profiling his leadership position. I must say that anything to associate ourselves with this candidate is a disaster for us. We didn't have any scandal until we started associating with this guy. He's a burden because he's confused. And that is what he wants. He wants us to be busy discussing things that are non-consequential, things that cannot attract crowds, cannot move rallies. I have a problem with him, first of all, even being considered for a running mate position. When we gave him that opportunity twice, in 2013 and 2017, this is one guy who could not seriously mobilize campaign rallies. In fact, Mudavadi did a better job in 2017 in terms of how he was able to organize rallies, how to speak, command crowds, and move crowds. This one was too, I don't know where we got this one from. And he was not able to do anything significant in that particular period. And you must be able to note that during those periods, if we analyze the campaigns for 2017, they were not able, including Kalonzo as a deputy president, was not able to marshal or even to do an independent campaign. They had to accompany Raila everywhere, making that old man very tired because he had the opportunity of manning a different wing while Raila mans another wing to geographically cover the country comprehensively. But he had to follow Raila all through because he, on his own, he cannot stand. This is a weakling. He needs to be reconsidered.
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Van. Melania, I'm a drop over. Okay, let's.
No. I'm here.
You muted yourself. Oh, you are done.
No, I'm available for comment and question. I'll be willing to contribute.
Okay, thank you. Just one question. This guy, assuming we give him the flag bearer, assuming, when he's talking about structured, is he aware of what being a presidential candidate means? Because Raila has his own team of campaign. He has even the guy who stands in any governor of Laikipia, coordinating the campaigns for Raila. He has his own team of financial mobilization. So is he expecting that he comes in, then we give him the presidential campaign, then we mobilize funds for him? Or what is, because when he's talking about structured discussion, we don't see OCA itself having structures. So if they were to sit on the table and say, let's have half, what is he bringing on the table in terms of structure?
This guy will bring poverty of ideas. He represents poverty of mindset and processes. You see, and that's why I think what Narc-K has looked at and is running away from. And I'll be very candid with this person. You see, he will take us to oblivion because in his own self, he cannot even run a presidential campaign. He had Wiper and Oka to himself. That was amongst the first coalitions to be done earlier. What did he do? How many campaigns did he run? What structures does he have? No structure. He wants to, he's seen that Azimio is a serious juggernaut and he wants to run on the sweat, the mindset, the ideas, the effort of millions of Kenyans or other Kenyans that have put their mind to work. Yeah. And he just wants to reap where he has not sowed anything. This guy is selfish. We need to call him out for who he is. The structure he's talking about is he, himself, and him. So we don't need to listen to those things he calls structures. He's wasting time. He's buying our time, and largely he just wants us to be busy addressing old scandals. We need to call him out for who he is.
Yeah, I was actually one of the guys who are urging people on this platform to be patient with Kalonzo. He's coming. Let's give him time. But like Mdavadi said, unafikanga mahali unaachilia break. The break parts zinachoka. I think even his supporters are becoming impatient. I was today when he was releasing a statement, I was somewhere just near Machakos town. I joined the crowd because people were watching the statement. They were listening, and I wanted to hear their response and reaction. And I can tell you, the ground is not good for him. You see the way you watch your team and is being beaten, no? You get embarrassed. You don't want to watch up to the end. So the majority are feeling he's embarrassing them. He needs to make up this mind and decide to move forward. So that is the challenge he's having, and someone lied to him that he has the crown. It may shock him. He may have part of the crowd, but not all the crowd. Malala, how are you?
Yes, okay, sir.
You have a question?
Yes, I have a question to Mila.
Mala, let him ask a question, then we come to you, kindly. Briefly.
Yeah, my question goes to Milan. I would like just to understand the legality. I wish we could have law students here, or if we have, they can explain to us the legality of the letter. Kalonzo Musyoka came out just to expose what politicians do. He wanted to know the agreement. Do people honor agreement? And I would like you to tell me, is it right for him to release the letter, yet we had the custodian who had the original letter, Professor Makau, who never even released it, the original one. The one that is escalating is not the original one. It's not the original letter. That's just a copy. So my question is, was Kalonzo right to release the letter because he's exposing the integrity issues? He is all about integrity. Can you explain on that?
Yeah, I think I was very clear that he just wants to keep us busy, punch us with the trust deficit issues. We were safer without him, because now he's giving us a load to carry about trust issues. The amount of coalition parties that we have already in Azimio are a mouthful. There are many. He's just one. He's just one party that is giving us some hard time, but not per se. It's because we've allowed him. We've given him leverage to bring us his mediocrity, and that is not doing us any good in terms of brand imaging. And that's what I've talked about in the past, like yesterday. We need to keep off this kind of personalities, because if we have done our arithmetic well, we can always have a counter strategy. In politics, you must have plan A, plan B, and plan C for that particular region. And I'm sure that Azimio team has got all those plans. But this character assassination of trust deficit, our candidate is an icon, is somebody that we don't need to bring this kind of people. The terms in that particular letter says that he goes for one term and should not seek re-election in the successive election, which means that is the precursor. Always, even in terms of stress, where you put effort, we are told that we read from left to right, and therefore, whatever falls in the left has got more weight than what is in the right. So what is in the left is the 5-year term, which was not there. So he has no basis to be able to claim the 2022 endorsement without us having the first term. So he should let us have the first term, then seek for that endorsement. So for me, that is the bottom line. Second thing, when you talk about who was supposed to read the letter, you know, he's claiming breach, yet we have not had any endorsement. ODM as a party has got a right to be able to nominate its presidential candidate. That is one. Two, this contract can only be classified under common law. It cannot amount to criminal law, for example. So in common law, it's just basically about mutual understanding between party and party or something of that sort. So if this just about understanding of the agreement and understanding on these two parties on what they agree upon, but you see, by the end of the day, the court, the constitution is still supreme, because the constitution says everybody else has got a right to be able to vie for elective position. So regardless of what we agree upon, it cannot amount to unconstitutional denying me my fundamental rights within as enshrined in the constitution. So that is something that he must also understand. And also largely, you find that Professor Mutu was the one who was supposed to be able to provide this document. Even him is in violation of the same document, because he was not supposed to publish it. The only person who was supposed to publish it in breach was supposed to be Professor Mutua or Kibwana. But you see, he's gone out as one of the players to this particular document to have breached the document by publishing it and leak it to the media. He didn't even have the audacity to be able to have it mediated in a boardroom. These are the kind of documents. How many contracts would you put or agreements would you publish in public in the newspaper or in the public media? It's uncalled for. It shows that you don't have the ethics, you don't have the decorum that it deserves, that people could take you for the seriousness that you deserve. And I think it's also very selfish as documented in that particular agreement. How would you say that he wants resources that needs to be shared to be campaign funds? If you have one presidential candidate that is being financed with the presidential campaign funds, why would you share some portion of it to go to your party or to go to your corner? What are you doing with those funds? This is selfish. This is one person that needs to be called out for who he is.
Okay, thank you. Let's have Mala now make his contribution.
Thank you, Wekesa. I think what we are seeing coming out is very interesting. It is all about the numbers. And let us not cheat ourselves. I think Kalonzo Musyoka, he has the numbers. 2 million votes, if I'm not wrong. If you talk about Chirongo, I think Chirongo has only 1 vote, same as Gideon Moi. And I think what Kalonzo Musyoka was telling us today is that he's trying to really, is showing us that Raila Odinga, the man who plays politics of deceit, conmanship, and is a leader who cannot be trusted. Basically, that's what is trying to bring it up. It is not about the NASA deals. Of course, the start letter is releasing, yes, that's what they agreed, but I think there's more to it. It's trying to display that this man called Raila Odinga is not trusted leader, basically. And you can see now they're tracking the name of the president, that even when they want to discuss this as a mere thing, Uhuru Kenyatta must come in. Who is Uhuru Kenyatta? Is the outgoing president. Are we saying that Uhuru, are we saying 2022 will be about the president and his deputy? There's a total confusion here. And I think we're here to see a lot. Thank you, Wekesa.
And what is wrong with having a president with his deputy? Do you know that the 1992 election was about president and his deputy? Kina Kibaki were running against Moi, who was deputy. So is it wrong for a president to run against his deputy?
We are saying Uhuru Kenyatta is going home. He's supposed to be going home. This is not his second term. He's having the last term. And if he wanted to change the constitution and run the third term,
it's well not running. He's supporting. In fact, he made it clear in the NDC.
There's more to it. He
made it clear in the NDC that even when Raila supported me and he asked me for nothing, I will support him and I will ask nothing from him.
It's okay,
He's
let
not
him
looking
continue.
Okay. You have a question for him, Captain?
Yes, I do have. Mala said that Kalonzo
Okello
has.
pia uko na swali? Okello?
Mala said.
Yeah, pia
Yes.
sawa.
Mala said that Kalonzo has numbers, 2 million. How sure is he? You know, the last time when we had the NASA collision, the 2 million could have been said because all the combination were in NASA. But right now, Kalonzo cannot be very sure of the 2 million. If you get your facts right, if he was to go alone, maybe he'll get even 600,000 votes. Because the three governors, you cannot tell me, Canvas, the three governors, they don't have numbers. That's not true. Let's just be honest and say the facts. If Kalonzo was to come on board right now and tell us he will bring the 2 million, or let him go alone, we see if he will get the 2 million for the Kamba votes. Can you clarify on that? Because telling me Kalonzo's numbers of 2 million, I disagree with you.
Because I can just add on something if you allow me. What Captain I just said, if you allow me.
Is it a question? You want a question or a comment?
Just a question.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. I was trying to see. My screen is not very clear. This guy is called Mala. Mala, who we've talked of, is out of order, and I am just trying to say, Captain, this guy. Let me reserve my comments. I'm going to be out to go. I'm going to be put into the other side of the menu of the viewers.
Yeah, just wait. I
Okay,
wanted
sir. I'm
yeah,
tempted. I'm just
not a
annoyed.
comment.
I'm annoyed, but let me keep my annoyance to me. I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak. Let me mute.
It's okay. Relax, you will speak. If Mala, you can answer in 1 minute, and then we move to the next.
Mala's left.
Where's Mala?
The Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka is surrounded by a group of extremists who are actually doing this for their own aim. Because the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, as I know him, is a gentleman and he cares about this country. Today, I was very, very happy when I heard him say that he actually almost repeated the words of the former vice president. He said that there come the times when the interest of the country is more than the interest of a person. So for me, I really don't buy that. I think Enoch and his group are holding the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, a fine gentleman, hostage. And the only ransom there is their re-election ticket, really. So it's not really about Kalonzo Musyoka. It's about their own personal aim.
That's a very strong statement to make, that
you know, and
they have no concerns about his future.
I will qualify my statement.
Okay.
Because I want my brother here, who I care so much about and I respect, to show me what other formula would we use to be able to make sure that we liberate this country and we win this country. If it is not a formula that is designed to build coalitions, what my brother is doing here is that they are trying to push the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka to go at it alone in a country where we have the rule of 50+1. So really for me, I do not blame the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. I think it is extremists who are surrounding him are the ones who are actually holding him hostage. That's my view.
You call them extremists, some call them strategists.
Yeah, Jared, how are you? Jared is talking to himself. Before I come to Jared, Captain, you're still there? Captain.
It's submission, 3 minutes or?
Yeah, make your submission in 3 minutes. And as you make your submission, I want to ask you this question you bear in mind.
Okay.
What happened to the young Turks in Senate? And by young Turks, I mean the likes of Sakaja, Malala, and Mtula Jr. They never remained the same since the negotiation of the revenue bill. I don't know what happened, but since then they have been, their political stand has been questionable. So kindly, you may weigh in on that as you comment on Kalonzo. Thank you.
Okay, I can allow. I saw Dennis wanted to answer on that. Dennis Okello can just answer that. Then I continue.
Can you get me, guys?
Yes.
Okay. That was the cause. That question answers where this extremist that Ledama was saying comes about. Mutula is now the right-hand man of Kalonzo Musyoka. Malala is the right-hand man of Musalia Mudavadi. Which other one did you mention? Sakaja. Sakaja comes second after Malala. Then there's even Ledama. Ledama went with Raila, yeah? And you remember that these young senators, at that time when they were pushed so hard to the wall, that was the beginning of the end. In the like the way the NASA was never the same after those guys were pushed on to the wall. So you remember there's a time when Malala was arrested, was facing some charges, yeah, when he was transported to Kisumu. When Mutula Jr. was complaining that he was being transported at a high speed, yeah, and he was inquiring from the Speaker of the Senate to just to ensure that he is in charge, yeah. But I think there is where we got some disconnect among all those, yeah.
Thank you. Captain, proceed, and then we have Jared.
Okay. What I like just to say about Kalonzo, you know, Madam Selina and Alex always say it's very useless discussing this guy because every day he comes with different things. So mine is whenever you sign a contract or a deal with an organization, I'm giving an example. Whenever you sign a deal or a contract with an organization, then the company collapses. Would you still follow the agreement to the court and say you're supposed to be paid salary till 2022 and the company is not working or the company is not existing? When the company dies, everyone will be told, go home. Your contract is zimeisha hivyo hivyo. So the issue, I'm not blaming Kalonzo too much, but bringing it publicly, the way Milan said, bringing it publicly, it's like being petty. You know, he's trying to expose Baba as a person who doesn't own agreements. That's why you realize Baba has not even commented on the report, or even his lawyers commented on the report, and he will never comment on it because he understands it's petty. Then my second submission. the same Oka that wants to come to Azimio as a three-legged stool, so that we can have three principles: Jubilee, ODM, and Oka. Where on earth have you seen Oka having their own NDC and claiming that Kalonzo is the presidential candidate? Show me the clip that all the Oka members have agreed, they've signed an agreement, and they've said Kalonzo is the presidential candidate. There's a problem with Kalonzo Musyoka, because whenever he's working with his colleagues, I think the colleagues are also tired of listening to him. I think that's what made even Mudavadi leave Oka, because they could not come to an agreement between him and Kalonzo. Right now, Kalonzo is saying Oka is firmly formed with principles. They have a coalition, and they understand how can a coalition join another coalition. Right now, as Kalonzo is saying, Martha Karua, the Secretary General of NARC Kenya, released a letter saying they've not signed and they're not going to participate tomorrow in signing any agreement. Whether they're in Oka or not, they need to be given 7 days. So, there's a problem with Kalonzo Musyoka. He needs to come clean. So, and on the letter, he says that the agreement was meant to support him. Raila was meant to support him 2017 up to 2022. If NASA is dead, let NASA rest in peace. The same Kalonzo Musyoka left. He was the wiper, left NASA. They had a problem because of some funds. They left us. ODM remained in NASA coalition until we were only alone in ODM. Then we decided also to leave. They decided to leave and went to form their own Oka. Right now, you are coming back with a letter of a coalition that you yourself said in public, NASA is dead. He said, Wekesa, you can even find that clip and play for it. He said, NASA is dead. Let us forget it. But what Kalonzo is playing is petty. And like Ledama has said, there are people holding him hostage. If he wants to join Azimio, let him join without conditions. We can as well go without Kalonzo Musyoka, because the Kalonzo Musyoka of the other 2017 is not the Kalonzo Musyoka of 2022. Right now, Kalonzo Musyoka thinks Oka is better than other parties that have joined Jubilee under Azimio. PA has joined. There are so many parties, PNU, they have numbers. If Kalonzo is behaving the way he is, I'm telling you for sure in coming days, KANU are going to have their NDC final to show where they're going. And this Oka marriage may not last. They will have issues and Kalonzo might go alone in the ballot. Another thing that I'm thinking politically, Kalonzo is being sponsored. Alex said here, Jimmy Wanjigi and the rest, even the hustler guy, they might be using Kalonzo just to spoil votes. That's why we are daring him. Even if we will go without Kalonzo, we will win, yes. But we are looking for that 50+1 because Kalonzo is a spoiler. The 600 votes that he might bring in Azimio might go away. But let him just be honest. If he's coming to Azimio with his conditions, then let him leave. Because in our marriage, we were staying very peacefully. We were doing very well. This is a guy who has never campaigned. They've been holding boardroom meetings. Right now, he doesn't even understand how far we've gone, how far Baba has gone collecting views from people, how far Baba has spoken with the governors just to come and form the coalition Azimio. Then you come here, you put conditions, you want to join, and you want to say it's a three-legged, you want to be a principal, and you even want to change our name and say Azimio Oka Alliance. This man needs to grow up, and I'm telling you the truth, Kalonzo politically is, let me say, he needs to repeat his class. He's behaving like a child. You cannot even compare Kalonzo and Joho. Joho can reason. Let me tell you, Joho can bring, compare Mombasa votes and Kamba votes. If Kalonzo was to campaign alone, where will he get his votes? Mount Kenya alone, I want you to show me a rally where Kalonzo has gone and people are listening to him, and look at Joho's rally. So this guy should come clean. When he's coming to, as I know the problem that Mutula is pushing him, Kalonzo needs the deputy. And they need to have an agreement whereby it will be brought to public that he has joined as a mayor. Raila is going to work for five terms, then he leaves for Kalonzo Musyoka. Another
Is it
thing
your
that
background that is noisy like that?
is not from my side, somebody has to mute.
Hasala, kindly mute before I bring you back. Okay, proceed.
Wekesa, it is 5 years, not 5 terms.
Okay. 5 years. I love another thing that I'm overseeing. Kalonzo alisema he sees he's aging. Kalonzo sees when Baba is going to be the presidential candidate, then we have, let me be tribal a little bit, we have a Kikuyu deputy. So they need an agreement whereby Baba is going to work for 5 terms. Baba said he's going to work for 5 years. So that 5 years, they need to sign an agreement and put it publicly. So the Kalonzo fears if Baba works for 5 terms, whoever will come up again to be the president will come from the central region. So the northeastern, the eastern, the Kamba nation, they are feeling like they're being left out. They are saying, we don't want Raila to be, they're trying to say, I've spoken with some of the Kambas people who are my friends and some of the MCAs. They are saying they think that Raila of 2022 is not the same Raila of 2007 or 2017. So they think Kikuyus are put there to control Mzee. That's why they're saying Raila will be a puppet president. So Kalonzo wants to come there to ensure that if Raila is the president, he's also there to protect the Kamba nation, so that after Raila's presidency, now they can back up the Kamba nation, because Kamba nation have backed Raila 3 times. So he's ready to back him
Let
another
me ask
time.
you your own argument.
Yes.
When you say Raila is surrounded with Kikuyu and becomes a puppet, where was Kalonzo? Because this discussion began with them, and the president told them that I'm going to give one of the NASA to support NASA, Muchipange. So when Kikuyus came and taking over, where were they? So how sure are you that Kalonzo, who left other people to take over something that belonged to them, will in government be able to take space? Because it is shown by how you act. He would have cut his own space. Leave alone, even right now, he's complaining that Raila has raised 3 governors. How, when Raila and Ruto have been taking inroads to Eastern, he does nothing. So that's how people get political space. It's not like asking for me, cut for me this position. Even if you are given a deputy president, you're not able to defend it. You will be in that government and people will take all the space. So is he practically taking space or just complaining?
I think what Kalonzo is doing is just a complainant. Because where was he? I agree with you 100%, Wekesa. Where was he when the house was being formed? Kalonzo, the way Ledama said, Kalonzo is a gentleman, but there's a force behind him. So we have to look at politically. If we are analyzing politics, there has to be combination force behind him, and there are also our rivals, the Yuda, who understand very well if Kalonzo joins Azimio, then it's a guaranteed win. That's a guaranteed win for Azimio. So they are trying to use and do all these ways, because Kalonzo said, If they are going to discuss, they have to discuss according to the agreement they had in 2017. That is going to mark the base of the discussion. And if Raila is not going to support him, they will make a public address, a press conference to tell Kenyans their next move. So why are we still pressuring this guy? Let him go. Let him go. Let us campaign as NASA, as Mio, and let him go. I believe the three governors that we have will deliver, and they will disapprove him because he's trying to make himself a kingpin. Let us see. Bring the numbers on board, then we will see. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me bring in Okello. Okello, I want you to, as you
I thought it
make
was
your
me.
contribution.
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Wekesa, can you minimize this breaking news?
Okello,
Yes.
Okello, it was
Yes.
Jared Ninu. I had already forgotten. You have to
Okay.
hold. It was Jared and then you. But you
Wekesa,
had carried up the hand. Was it a question?
No
Wekesa,
problem.
kindly Wekesa minimize the breaking news.
Oh, you are not seeing. It's blocking.
Yes, and even the comments in the comment section is requesting that we minimize. Okay, it's okay now.
About the breaking news is Raila Odinga, our presidential candidate, has appointed Makau Mutua as the head of the spokesperson of the campaign, and then also the head of the think tank of his campaign. Okay, so thank you. Let's have Jared, and then we come to So Okello, you had a question. You can't wait and make it in your contribution. After Jared, you can
Yeah, let
comment.
me wait. Let me wait after Jared.
So thank you.
Okay, you can hear me? Can you hear me now?
Right now you're okay.
Okay, yeah. So thank you, the panelists. I tried yesterday, I couldn't get in. Quickly, as the topic today for Kalonzo, I do think that Kalonzo has got a point in a way that there existed an agreement. That is there is no doubt about it, and we cannot just dismiss it. The only problem I see with Kalonzo Musyoka, he has a problem with his friend Musalem Babu. Let's say that Baba was to endorse Kalonzo. Even if you endorse Kalonzo today, he cannot win. And this is the problem with these politicians. They go sign a paper, they go put it somewhere in their cabinet and wait that Papa will do the magic. If he says Tosa, then they get to be elected to president. I've not seen for the last 4 years or since he knew that the NASA did not win, and the contract was saying that whether they win or not, he will be supported. There is no any evidence that Kalonzo himself has done any justice to himself by trying to expand. Give it to Deputy President William Ruto. He has gone round the country trying to set his candidature. Where has Kalonzo done the 4 years? All of this, he has been sitting somewhere waiting for endorsement. So endorsement is not just something you just being endorsed and then you just take. You have also to be known everywhere. So I don't think that both of them, Kalonzo has gone out of Ukambani. He just wanted to be a kingpin. The same thing, Musalia Mudavadi has never moved out of Western. So these guys, they don't move out to go and campaign for themselves, expand their territory, so that they are in a position where they can be endorsed. I think even the president is aware of these things. It's not like he's not aware. Remember that Savula said that they signed another agreement, only this time it was left with the president. He's the only one who has a copy. The president was aware. But when we come back, what are we fighting? What do we want to achieve? We want a candidate who will be able to win over the deputy president. And no matter what science you can put, it's proved that these candidates, all of them, none of them can beat the deputy president. So I wish the people who are surrounding him, and this is why sometimes people get worried with the young people. Remember, Kalonzo Musyoka used to have Tama, this Mushira, I think the chairman used to be a chairman at one time. Those were people who were grown up, old enough, who knows where we're coming from, where we're going, and they were advising him accordingly. Today is just one-time senators or two-time senators. If you saw who was standing there, is young people who are thinking about themselves. So they cannot even be able to offer advice to Kalonzo that, hey, you don't have what it takes. In fact, today, I don't know why even somebody can even get him a running mate position. But there is one thing which we have to take from Kalonzo also. Kalonzo insisted that we're gonna still work together. I think all I want is going with that statement or agreement on the table to see if he can sway them and say, I know that you guys, telling actually the president, I know that you have endorsed Raila Odinga, yeah? But now, since this was, for me to give it up, can I be the running mate? I think he's looking for a running mate position, which everybody knows that it's not going to happen. So what's going to happen is that probably Raila will not respond, as obvious when things are not important to him, he will not respond. What they're going to be doing now is telling him, you want to come or not? Look at what's going to happen on this campaign. Is start with the statement as Oka, if he's an alliance. Why would he not be running around to popularize their candidature? They are waiting to join. Raila is eating on the campaign trail. You will see what will happen. So you will see Chilongo joining, you will see Kanu joining, and then you see what is happening to Martha Karua. These people are going to leave Kalonzo by himself. And Kalonzo, without even these other people, even if there was nobody, he would be left like somebody who is naked. So I wish, I know that he did not do, I don't know much of the law, but from what it was read, there are things where even those of us who don't know law, the agreement is titled NASA deal, but you want to separate from NASA. So I don't know how you're going to separate when it was a NASA deal. So he's trying to say it's something which was separate. Why would they call it a NASA deal then? And also, you cannot, when you come, there is one thing they have in law. If you come for justice, your hands have to be clean. He cannot say these people have broken breach of material, something he was talking about, when he read a statement saying it is only Mutua who was supposed to disclose that. So in disclosing without the approval of others, is also a priest. So how can you come to say I do evil over evil? So I think it was done. He knows that there is nothing which can be done. It's not relevant at this time. It's only politics. It's just politics. And I might allude myself also to Captain, I think what he was saying. Remember, Kalonzo has been associating himself with Jimmy Wanjigi. One thing we have to understand with the presidential campaign, when even Oka goes around campaigning, they are being paid. So who finances them? I think now that Jimmy Wanjigi has worked out, he's thinking he's banking on maybe him to run with him. Martha Karua is not going to get his third hands on this. So as we keep going, I think Azimio is not going to stop. It's going to continue. You know, the president was very courteous. When he gave his speech at the ODM, it was very courteous that he said, I don't force me to say what you already know I would say. You already know this one is a trial. And so the only thing which can bring relevance to both, as we said, Mudavadi and Kalonzo, is them joining Azimio so that they can have relevance, have a certain position now as some part to play so that they can have relevance. After his election, if Kalonzo and Mudavadi will be out, that's done. For them, it's done. They can never recover from there. They can never recover from there. And I hope that he's knowing that. How funny is it that out of the 4 people in the agreement, 3 people are together? 2 of them are from his Ukambani press, and they are lawyers who could have led that thing and know that there is nothing. So that can tell you, why is he not talking about Kivuta? Why is he not calling out Kivuta to come and say something about that agreement? So I don't think that he has any standing. It was being pushed. If you saw, since I think yesterday, Mutula Kalonzo was talking about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gerald, for that. Okello.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Do you foresee a water too if Kalonzo becomes a hardliner? You see, this is what happened to Musalia and Weta.
Sure.
When they became hardliners,
Yeah.
Plan B was being hatched.
Yeah.
By the time they were planning to do other things, they pulled a rug under their feet. So they went alone and the MPs remained the other side. Is it possible to have a water too in Kampani and the 3 governors lead that? Is it possible?
It's not possible. It's happening. Cause it started. Do you remember Muranga, the first place where Raila met with Mutua? Yeah. What Dr. Alfred Mutua told Raila is that Raila, those who are not there, they're not with us, but count on those who are there. And I know I've talked to my colleagues; they're on their way coming. So already Mutua had positioned himself. With the devolution and everything, devolution has made our politics so integrated such that after 2 terms, governors are almost having that supremacy that regional people had, regional leaders. So somebody like Mutua, we have Kivuta Kibwana, and we have Charity Ngilu. This like a backbone of Ukambani, a faction of Ukambani politics. There's somebody who even stated that Kambas have voted Raila twice, isn't it? It's more than that. It's even 4 times because there's a faction of Kamba, the part that had Ngilu. There's a place that has been voting where Raila was. But Wekesa, you're very, very right. You see, right now there's something called game plan and strategy, such that after the game plan, the game plan was Raila had already foreseen this thing, and that is why the 3 governors have been on board from the time go. they've been on board. There's one thing that I like about this group is that if you listen, you get some points. That is why I like listening to WG and you mostly. There's a thing that you say that you are in Ukambani today and you're in Machakos. There's a time I was in Machakos too, and we went with a friend to buy a plot. Then it happened that the person we were buying a plot from was Ngelengele. He was some former MP from Ukambani. That guy saw us and he started just talking politics. He just saw that we were interested in. I think we were talking also politics a bit, and he told us the truth. Plain truth is, people at Ukambani, they're no longer very very much attached to the kingpin thing, such that if Kalonzo goes the way Mudavadi and Wetangula went, the probability is that the second fiddle that are coming, the second, third, and fourth fiddle that are coming, these are the people who Azimio can use to get back to Ukambani. Let me go to the second point. Remember Wiper and DC that met at Kasarani? Everybody was so silent, but when Raila went, yeah, he tells you where the heart of those people were. Yeah, those people out of nowhere, it became more of an enigmatic that Mudavadi, who was to host his next one, never called Raila. Number two, there is something that is happening right now that Kalonzo is living with the fear of unknown. Why? Number one, age-wise. Number two, devolution has brought about 3 strong people in Ukambani who have specifically performed. And evolution, I'm not saying that it has not brought people, even outside Ukambani. You know, people like Joho. Raila went to Mombasa and said, now Joho is done doing locals. Please let me go with them to the national level. There are people also who are even working with Ruto, yeah? Let us say like people like Nanok, yeah? There are people who are done with. So the same thing has happened in Ukambani. Then it happens that in Ukambani, except for Malombi, the two went back to power. So these guys have consolidated power, and the game plan of Azimio and the president and Raila is that it kept touch with these two governors so much so good that these guys they're already they're ready to give it a shot, and every one of them, and none of them is looking like none of them wants to be the regional kingpin. Now, if Kalonzo relies on this politics of kingpin, that was something that was very popular in 2007, and we are in 2022, the postmodern era, where the majority of voters are below 24 years old. These people, you won't tell them, you won't convince Kalonzo. It's very, very hard for Kalonzo to convince a 24-year-old Kamba voter, yeah, that I'm willing to do for you such a thing. But it is very, very easy for Alfred Mutua, and all other governors to tell Ukambani that this region never used to produce dengue, and I as Ngilu has produced dengue and I'm producing bonds. Kivuta Kibwana, a professor in law, will tell them that I gave you free Medicare, Makweni care, health care. Then Mutua will tell you, I built something that was close to the White House. It's something that they're seeing, they're resonating with. So you are very, very right, Wekesa, when you say that the ground is very tired and those people had even started moving away. So the game plan of Azimio is one: work with the people who are relevant. And relevant people are these young men and women who are willing to give it a go from the word go. Where was Kalonzo in 2018 when people were going to, during the handshake? He was also called and he was part and parcel. Why couldn't he pop up that letter at that time and say it's such a thing? If he were very, very careful, that agreement was only abiding to NASA. So he was the one who could have glued NASA more than anyone else, because that letter was going to benefit him. But if he is the first one who resonated and stated that we have resigned from NASA, now what is he complaining about? Something that is not there. But again, at the end of it all, let us not lie. Kalonzo is not going anywhere. Kalonzo is going to join Azimio. He's going to be forced. But fear of unknown again. Which position is he going to be? Remember, even Mutula Kilonzo and all those, not Mutula Kilonzo, but Alfred Mutua and all those governors, they're also going to want for positions, except for Ngilu, because Ngilu is going back maybe to be a governor, to aspire as a governor. But all those people, they've been with Azimio for long. So Kalonzo is looking at it this way. It's power play. What is it going to be given? Then he's trying to use Oka, yet they themselves in Oka have also not agreed that he's even their de facto leader. Now that is it's just the fear of unknown that is disturbing Kalonzo. Otherwise,
But the rules of the game are very simple. They said ODM produce a presidential candidate, Wiper produce a presidential candidate. They never said Oka. These are his own imaginations. Even when he says about Azimio Oka, these are his own imaginations. The rules are simple. Azimio has not been formed. It will be formed by all the parties that come together. So each one, you come as a party, you don't come as a coalition.
Yeah,
So that's why he has been having a monologue. You know, it's a monologue. He talks, he makes a presser, he goes, makes another one, and a third one, but nobody is responding to him. Why? Because he's not talking, he's not going the right direction. He has been told this thing has not been formed. He has already put his preconditions. Thank you for that.
I agree with you before just a minute. Just a minute.
Yes.
I agree with you. This is purely a monologue by himself. It's something that is just within him. So he's trying to bring the power play. There's a last point that I wanted to put before just somebody said that Kalonzo has 2 million votes. Sure. And that guy got lost, yeah? Even if we were to look at the latest opinion polls and calculate the arithmetic that is there, his votes are around 1 million. Can they even reach 1 million? You doubt. You doubt. So in this power play, it's somehow, I don't know. Let me give the chance to everybody. I want everybody to participate.
Thank you. Let's have Tabiliji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening, good night. How are you?
We are fine, thank you.
A few 8 minutes to morning.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems March has begun with a lot, or March. March has begun with March. A lot, to mean a lot. And first, today I said that Kalonzo is the first politician who has done a miracle, resurrected the dead things. He has brought the dead PBI back to life.
You know, Kalonzo.
Let me ask you before you begin contributing.
Yes.
The president tells you, you guys who are NASA, enda mchipange, I want to support one of you. And then you quickly, instead of coming together, you quickly go and destroy the same NASA. And then you go asking for president's support. What is...
I think
are they the one who pushed the president away from them? Because he had not actually settled on Raila. But towards the end, they made him make up his mind.
Yeah. I think it's a series of blunder that is that has been following Kalonzo Musyoka. A series of blunder. But I don't want to talk about Kalonzo Musyoka as a person. I want to talk about the clique that surrounds him, and that clique calling itself Wiper, especially those ones leaning towards him, supporting him, as opposed to those other three governors. These people are, I don't think they even sit down to think about what they are coming to speak in public. Do they even weigh the consequences? Do they even understand what the implication that what they are standing to speak in public will have on them as a party? Because actually today, what was that? what was that Kalonzo was talking about? Even during the press conference that he had with the lady, he kept on, contradicting himself, and I don't know, either he is so much on his own world of fantasy, or he is so much confused with those gentlemen and the clique in Wiper who wants to sit on him as a wheelbarrow and cross the river towards the other side of the election. So, but him is left to drown in the same river as these people cross over during the 2022 election. And he is somehow held captive by these people because he no longer have that big room for support. His support is shrinking, is deflated. You see. Number two, I wonder who agreed and played in the hands of Kalonzo so that they even entertained the notion that he can come and form the other leg of the stool. I mean, we had left that kind of scenario. We passed there long time ago when Baba went through forming Azimio by himself and went through all the 47 counties asking for people's opinion, who gave him a direct, nomination to run as the president. And it was crowned at Kasarani, where Kalonzo Musyoka himself did not attend. And so I'm wondering why he's coming in, and these people are allowing him even to begin confusing them by, even the Jubilee not declaring Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga as their presidential preference. What happened? And this one, I have to call those people from Central Kenya, the central leaders, that it's about time we told them that they should stop those jokes. If they are supporting Raila Odinga, let them come out clearly and support him. If they are not, then let them tell us what they are standing for. Because this idea of today they are on this, tomorrow they are jumping on that, today they are jumping on this, we are getting tired of this, And Raila is an established person, and ODM also as a party is an established party. It can go outside there and ask for people's votes. So it's about time that anybody who is bringing confusion is like they are not satisfied yet with their choice should be called to order. Because by allowing Kalonzo Musyoka to come with a narrative that now he's also a presidential candidate, who nominated him? Where did the people sit? And even I don't know, it's Dennis who asked that very viable question, that who nominated Kalonzo Musyoka from Oka team to be their presidential candidate, to come and now bargain on their behalf with the rest of the Azimio members. So that one baffles me. We have to call this house Azimio House to order. Even if it is the president himself bringing these confusions that he's dragging along Kalonzo and giving him that room, he should also be called to order. Because this is about Kenyans' future. We don't want anybody derailing it with this kind of nonsense we are beginning to see. Like on that day, everybody had the high spirit. Everyone was in the mood. Then Kalonzo decides to go and attend Jubilee's, NDC, and then he fails to go to a serious contradiction and against the spirit of oneness that we are trying to harness in Azimio. So those kind of people should just be stopped. And if he's not willing, he's not ready to join, Let him stay there. You know, that habit, Wekesa, is like you know, every other house has been having challenges. PNU has its own challenges. Jubilee itself have a lot of challenges. You see, same way to where we came from, the NASA. And I've never seen Jubilee carrying their grievances with William Ruto or this member of PNU, you know, carrying their problems and challenges to Azimio, so that the Azimio can help them square it out. You see, so Kalonzo Musyoka is irrelevant, and he's out of order, and so out of place. You know, and the other thing that I wanted to say about the numbers of Kalonzo Musyoka, I think he's still living in denial. That judging by the last, you know, it's called what, election? This the one that took place recently. We saw the Ukambani, the three Ukambani governors whitewashing him with wiper very badly in the last, you know, it is called, what is the term for that election that is done halfway? Please, if someone can. By-election, yes. So we even question his influence in Ukambani, although not really so badly off. But I'm one person who believes that the current Kalonzo Musyoka in Ukambani is not the same Kalonzo Musyoka in 2017, when these governors had not come in to establish themselves. And you see, the role of those governors have become more important than a kingpin. Number one, they have infrastructure within them, and they have financial powers. They can reach the ground, you know, the ground very easily through their own infrastructure. So this idea of someone coming and even coming to fight with those Ukambani leaders directly, transferring those differences into Azimio, they are just transferring the problem and issues they used to have in Oka to this new Azimio thing, and we are not going to allow them that. It's high time, and I'm wondering why the ODM members of parliament and you know, party, they are still very silent on this issue. They should come out and just call Nani off kabisa. There is Kalonzo Musyoka and other Azimio members. He's out of
I
order.
think what they are doing is very nice. Let him have a monologue for some time first. That's why he has changed his statement 3 times. You know, he's seeking for attention, and you give him attention, he will be very happy.
Yeah, but we should have people. You know, sometimes back, I used to like the way President Moi used to work. When you behave stupidly, he releases you a person who also, the person is just normal under normal circumstances, but sometimes they just behave that stupidly to oppose people who behave in the like manner. You understand what I mean? If you want to behave like you are crazy, then you are set up with someone who is more crazier than you. So we should have the likes of people who are in that standard to come and confront him, so that he can avoid this thing. Lastly,
but I think Baba has done it in a very smart way. That's why he has appointed Makau Mutua. And today, Makau Mutua responded. I think if you watched Citizen, you saw. He said it is very categorical. We want to win this thing. You know, diplomatic, but again, very forceful. We want to win this thing with Kalonzo. But we can still win without him. He is not indispensable. Those are the words he used. He's not indispensable.
Yes, I agree. But sometimes, Wekesa, some of these things, some of these people, when they've refused to reason, if you try to handle them diplomatically, they will not even understand that you are handling them diplomatically. They are so insensitive. So, and that's the reason why, the white people introduced cane, even in school and even on Africans, because sometimes they just fail to reason. So you have to discipline them or make them, expose them to, in some kind of shame, so that they catch up, they can be stirred into sense. That is what Kalonzo Musyoka requires, because he keeps on repeating these mistakes every now and then. And nobody is salvaging Kalonzo from that. Maybe
it will be done, but at the right time. That is what happened exactly to Mudavadi and Weta. They were making noise, and Raila and the team were quiet. But while they were quiet, they were planning a plan B. When they went to Puhungu, it's when they finished it. So they started crying, but it was too late. Sometimes when you respond just for emotions, you empower these people. They are sympathy addicts. But the plan that is happening, I'm telling you, Kalonzo is also aware. He is making noise, but that's why in his statement he also shows, I'm willing to work with Raila, because he sees the danger that is following. Someone is carrying up the hand. Captain, you wanted to respond to what he...
I have a question to WG. What happens if there's an indication that probably tomorrow Kalonzo will not sign any agreement? Because Martha Karua, the Oka principal, has disputed. So what will happen? Are we going to wait for this guy till they sign an agreement? Yet tomorrow we are going to Nakuru for a rally.
Yeah, and that is what
Wait.
defeats me, Captain.
Wait for what? Let me tell you, NASA and Azimio never changed its plan, because they only gave it a 2 weeks program, and they released all the campaigns. Tomorrow is Nakuru. Up to the last day, 12th, they will have a conference to endorse the presidential candidate. So whether they have signed a document or not, that plan proceeds. Because they were supposed to endorse the presidential candidate this last weekend. Their entry, they added some 2 weeks grace period, because now they were saying we also have a presidential candidate. They said, now let's have rallies together. After that, let Kenyans decide who among the two is our presidential candidate. They asked Kalonzo today, are you going to Nakuru? He said no. So for him, he wants a deal to be done in a room where the NASA is determining who is the presidential candidate is. Raila is going out for the people. After the rallies, they will come now and endorse Raila, and that will be the end of the story.
But Wekesa, now I'm wondering why all that why all that trouble? You see, we were on
but we are looking for votes. You are the same guys who have said that there are 2 million votes. You see, before you convince the voters that your man mwenye alikataa, you give him a grace period. You see, they are not concerned about Kalonzo, they are concerned about the voters. That we need to create a message for them. We gave your man the opportunity, a window. He wanted to compete with us. We gave him an opportunity, he refused. Now we have come as we are moving forward. Sometimes we create window for voters, not actually for the people. You can deal with Kalonzo any other day. But because you want to convince the backyard also, you have to show that you gave him an opportunity, he ran away from it.
Yeah, okay. Now, finally, Wekesa, I want also to zero in on this son of Mutula Kilonzo. He has been a very, upright and very reasonable person. Whatever he took or whatever he drank or whatever he smoked that makes him nowadays behave like that, we are yet to find out. Because these are the people who are misleading Kalonzo Musyoka. They have the habit of Malala, Cleophas Malala, who single-handedly pushed Musalia Mudavadi into UDA. Now these people are literally you know, tying Kalonzo Musyoka, you know, and denying him free will to make his decision, whether right or wrong. Kalonzo is a grown-up person. And I think Kalonzo also should realize that he's a grown-up man. He should make his own decision, just like my fellow panelists had indicated earlier. You know, so we are not making this noise because it's our own will, but we are seeing people belittling our resolve to put this country into the right, you know, footpath again, after many years of mismanagement and misrule. So it pains us when we see people who are so good and people who are reasonable beginning to behave like the way Mutula Kilonzo Jr. nowadays is behaving. Let him shun all his selfish interest and take, at least for once, take this country. The country is bigger than Wiper, and the country is also bigger than Kalonzo Musyoka. So asitulete. Asante. Because
Okay, thank you. Let me bring in Irene. Hi, Irene.
Hi everyone, how you doing?
We are good.
Yeah, so I hope my sound is good. I've tried to use my audio, but it's not working very well, yeah? So, when you know, like I'm trying to imagine that I use my voice and my brain that people pay money to sometimes utilize, and including what awaits my grandchildren, to speak about Kalonzo Musyoka, a man who people are seated somewhere and claim this guy is being walked through a system and asukumwa tu kama gurudumu. Honestly speaking, is this the kind of leadership that we're looking for? When someone can sit and tell you, some people wale wanakaa kama vijana wako ama maybe even, you know, like toddlers in politics would come and take you to a direction. And then you wake up one morning, wazee wenzako wanaketi na wewe wala nafikiri umekomaa kama hao, mnaongea vizuri, mumetoa uamuzi, imepita. Also they think. Then tomorrow they wake up, they're not even sure whether Kalonzo will have woken up on the right side of the bed ama atakuwa kisikia wale toddlers wakiwa wanajaribu kusuck their fingers wakimwambia something alternatively. These are the same people tunafaa kuwa tunasema kwamba we are entrusting a country to. Yani Raila alienda Uhuru Park, risking treason, and now putting the lives of Kenyans on the line, body and soul put for this country. Kalonzo akajificha huko pali alikuwa aliclaim amefinywa huko, hakuenda kwa swearing in. Kuna nini moja Kalonzo amefanyia hii country yenye tutasema leo ni mwanamume kamili? Mimi nikisimama kama Irene ninaweza kusema kwamba huyu ni mwanamume that I can point my son to, nimwambie kwamba the day that you become a man, I want you to have this kind of quality in this guy, and that qualifies for to be called a man. Like an absolute mockery of the title a man, you know, that this Kalonzo is. Every day you wake up, you know, if men who are seated here, it's a good thing there's just men. I don't even know, there's one female. But now, wanaume tafadhali, muniambie tu. Mimi najua kama Achieng, naweza kuwa labda niko na shida ya ujaluo. Wanasemanga sisi zingine tuko lelo. But labda hiyo shida ndio inanisumbua. Lakini kama lelo mimi, which one of you qualifies for a man? Ule utaamka kwangu ama niamke kwako? Actually wacha niamke kwako, kwa sababu hii mambo ya kupatiana options za kwetu ndio imetuletea I think hizi shida za Kalonzo's and the toddlers that he has now presently. Men have since auctioned their balls, so excuse my language. So now utaamkaje leo? Sijui kama umeamua ni mimi ama umeamua ni Shiro ama umeamua ni Wanja huko ama umeamua ni Atieno somewhere else. Itakuwaje that you wake up to that? If I cannot wake up to that at a family level, then what is it that you're talking about at a country level? I am trying to raise a generation. I am trying to remind my son that tomorrow, let me proudly say that I participated in the process of making a country that qualifies for the fact that nyanya yenu, mama yenu, nyanya yenu alikuwa Irene Naimba, akaishi kwa Kenya, akakuwa mtu ambaye ana speak within political platforms who's informing a direction. And that there were men who at midnight were not warming their beds for what they're required to do because they were sitting and chatting a political wave for the country and giving direction. As Kalonzo is sleeping wherever he is that he's sleeping, afu kesho ataamka, amue ati Mutula amemwambia kitu, amue Manzo amemwambia kitu, and that is someone that you want to front to me and tell me that sasa tumekaa hapa tukidiscuss. On to better Kenyan matters. Hakuna mtu saizi atasema ati mtoto wake ako na njaa. Anaenda sijui huko Ichweri, inaitwangwa aje huko kwa kina Kalonzo hiyo boma yake. For the while that Kalonzo was the kingpin and leader wa Ukambani wenye walikuwa wamemtegemea in any small way, they were eating dogs there, there wasn't food or even water. Charity Ngilu, mama wetu wa power kutoka Ukambani came and gave those guys water and gave them some semblance of hope. So what kingship are you telling me about? The local Kamba wants to identify the fact that I will proudly call myself a Kamba because I was a man who out of my loins this child was sired. And as such, this child akona sanem yangu. And I bear responsibility for this child as a Kenyan who took a responsibility. Mtu amekuja hapo akasema Kalonzo akona 2 million votes. 2 million ameweka kwa nyumba yake. Amechukua voters card za mtu akaeka. The same way mnatuambia ati sijui Jirongo akona voters card yake moja. Kalonzo akona voters card yake moja na watoto wake au vijana wake wa handsome 2 na huo bibi yake. I hope she lives to cast your vote yake yenye anaenda alone, and I hope he's going alone. Aeke hiyo zikuwe 4 za kutoka kwa nyumba ya Kalonzo. Other than that, every Kamba right now knows that we are looking for a person. We are looking for a gentleman. We are looking for a lady who will stand and give direction, who will stand and give me systems and will give me structures that will respect the fact that my child is Kenyan. That I need not know anyone in a political system. I need not be a politician myself. I simply need to have cast my vote right. I need to make my voice heard using my voter's card. And when it demands for it, I need to come into platforms like this or alternative ones and say what I'm saying as a Kenyan. And that system recognizes me like that. The only person presently as it is formed that can give us that is one man, Raila Odinga. As for whether Kalonzo now takes his chickens and decides he's counting their feathers to make them the 2 million votes, alafu as he translate into voters cards, zenye watu wataenda kutumia. Let us go and see that. But there's no Kamba who's sitting anywhere, akiimagine, ati we umejikalisha hapo, umezalisha watoto wako, unawafunza shule, leo akiwa wagonjwa, you have to cough out everything and probably sell everything that you have to treat that child of yours, hoping that they live long enough for them to become meaningful people in Kenya. Unafanya hivyo, alafu ukae mahali unajiambia ati Kalonzo atakuja kama kingpin na ananipatia direction. Alikupatia direction pali pa kuweka huyo mtoto wako? So that kind of nonsense is no longer happening in Kenya. The strategy has to be as follows. The kind of campaigning we're doing, the campaign strategy has to change. We are no longer on top of vehicles trying to shout insults kama kina Ruto up to kinini. We have to now go to door to door. Munaona vile tuko hapa hivi at midnight, you're sacrificing having this meaningful conversation. Your neighbor, make sure 10 of them. Fanyeni mkue nyumba 10. Every day, give yourself a target. Umeongea na watu 10. Usikie kama ujinga imeoshwa out of the system a bit, ama kama bado iko. Kama bado iko, tunaosha a day at a time. We're going one Kenyan at a time to change this country. But others relying at kingpin my foot. Nilikuwa kwake lini. That has to stop. And as it is, Raila is not my kingpin. Raila is a man who now, for me, basically holds the one thing that I need in Kenya. He holds the responsibility to make sure that systems, structures, and the right characters are in place to ensure that my children and my grandchildren have a future in this nation that can proudly claim I was a daughter of the soil. Asante.
Thank you. That is point taken. Huh? Mesikia hiyo maneno. We go door to door and talk to your neighbor. Na musingoje rallies juu ya magari. Alafu mseme mko na numbers. You have a question to her? WG.
I have a question to Irene.
Yes, sir.
Right. As we ask a question, I want you to take charge. I'm coming in 15 minutes. So the next person to speak is Mr. K, then Daniel Livondo. Are you sure that
right.
Yeah, so take charge. I'm coming in 15 minutes.
Okay, let me ask Irene a question. I wish Selina angekuwa hapa. You've spoken like 10 women. Selina could be very happy. My question is, did we invite Kalonzo to Azimio, ama they came themselves? Did we follow them and told them to join us, or they were willingly to negotiate with us? I want to understand that.
They came themselves.
Followed them and told them to join us, or they were willing to negotiate with us. I want to understand that.
Now, let me tell you how this is clearly panning out. So Kalonzo sat back somewhere, akafikiria baba, yani in his eminence, ataketi mahali ajiambie there's a missing link, and Kalonzo is one such missing link. Na sasa hizo kuna stalwarts watatu wa Ukambani. Sana sana aliona kama baba amempigia amevurutia carpet chini ya meza vile anafanyanga. A very nice one, under your feet, carpet off and gone. So akamfanyia a game changer. So now the guy had to panic, and that is why now he's suddenly making all this. Hakuna mtu ana invite mtu. Hii Kenya hakuna mtu alitu invite, ndio? So hakuna mtu alitu invite into the mess that we are in. Tuliekwa ndani yake. So we're trying to get ourselves out, including those people who only force onto us now have decided we have a legacy and we have a country that we also live in. You know, like even Uhuru and his honchos, the Mount Kenya Foundation and everybody else woke up to the realization, by the way,
Irene,
you guys, this is a danger.
Irene, please.
And the danger that we're having.
A moment, please. Olara, please just put yourself on the curtain while you are doing what you are doing. It's against the rule. Asante. Okay.
So yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, asante umenisaidia ku calm down. Sasa unajua saa zingine nikiongeanga afu pressure inapanda. Asante kwa kunipunguzia. Lara, nimeshukuru. So now this is what I was saying. So the electoral kina Uhuru, Mount Kenya Foundation and all these people who Raila amekuanga shetani mwenye walikuwa kilea kwa, unajua wakaona wakamekea horns and everything. So suddenly they came to discover that we are better off with this familiar devil. That we are safer under his wings. You understand? Because they also discovered we live in this country, and if at all we want an environment where we can survive and have longevity and have a semblance of sense, we also need to do things right. So definitely, we have of less evils. I'm yet to be shown a perfect human being. I'm yet to even birth one myself, and yet nilibeba kwa tumbo. But huyo sijatoa perfect. Sasa itakuwa ni Raila Odinga sasa ndio natafuta perfection. Having said that, so now these guys discovered, they made a very sobering discovery that beyond Uhuru, we don't possibly have an option of how much more we can delay an idea whose time has come. So we've got to pick within evil, so they claim. So we have the option of living with the devil himself. And oh my goodness, they know exactly what this guy is capable of doing because he's done it within their presence. So they try to shudder at the thought that we're going to remain behind here with this guy holding holding the controls of power, including the army and everything that pertains to it. And that is the country we're going to live in. That's why they've had to make very difficult decisions. So they've made those decisions, not necessarily because wanatupenda sana, ama wanapenda Raila sana, but because it is the right decision to make, which you ought to have made how many since 2007. But nonetheless, the time that a man should wake is the time that he rises. So, you know, so we get to live with that. So all said and done, hakuna mtu ana-invite mtu anywhere. Hakuna mtu ame-invite Kalonzo anywhere. Kalonzo ali-realize tu stalwarts watatu wa Ukambani wameamka na Wakamba listening. I've also, just as Wekesa said, I've also been walking. Whenever I walk, I speak to people. Even these 10 people I'm talking to you about, I have conversations everywhere I go. I make sure that I'm having a candid conversation. Chongeangi na ito on, by the way. I speak like a normal human being during those times. Afu ndio wasiniogope kwanza. So at the time we're having a conversation as Kenyans, I usually get to ask some questions like, just ordinarily, where are we? Everybody knows they're at a place where in Kenya, I need things done right. I need my 6,000 for welfare. I need industry set up. I need jobs. I need my children eating. I need my children going for quality education. I need proper healthcare. If you give me those four, then everything else is a bonus. So with that realization, every Kenyan is going one direction. Wale wanangoja kualikwa, hata graves hazialikangi mtu na watu huenda huko.
Captain.
Yeah, I've gotten the point.
Okay, fine. So we are moving to the next person. Was it Mr. K?
Habari, how are you? I'm smiling because
Mzuri sana.
Irene was so worked up. I know the feeling when you are about to cross the bridge and then there are people who are telling you that let us go back for something that we have forgotten. You know, it is it makes people feel like they are not in the same mindset. And but we have to be very careful because I think politics is a game of numbers. And I think the enemies will be very happy when people start rushing and making belittling leaders, because I think Kalonzo should be left to be. And I say that because I don't think anybody in Noka is as important as Kalonzo. Anybody else there is just a busybody. But Kalonzo idea and coalition making, he has his own point. He wants to be felt. Eventually, he cannot be given the mantle because what does he place in the table? He doesn't have the numbers per se compared to Baba. He doesn't have the money compared to Baba. He doesn't have the influence compared to Baba. He doesn't have the international connection compared to. So when the rubber meets the road, then he's going to be told this is how it's supposed to be because of many other factors that are considered. But at the moment, abusing him, calling him names, will not help the journey. I think for now, I am appreciating how leaders are restraining themselves until we know he has decided not to. I think he should be given an opportunity to be listened to. It is important in this journey to stop fighting amongst yourself before you get to. They say you close to the there's a word that English people use. If you have not closed that level, then it will be so difficult to say that no one is important. I think let us listen to him. There's only one president at a time, and he is so sure that even in past elections, he contributed about 20% in population. But that doesn't mean we don't need that 20%. Hambas are very unique people. They will still vote for different people on the MP level and governor, but still rely on their kingpin. I don't think there is anybody who is not important in this race. If you want numbers, and I'm saying this because I've realized we might degenerate to abusing and profiling. It might get to a point whereby now you fight among yourself, and then the enemy gets the opportunity to win. What we don't need is to lose anybody who is like-minded. And I usually beseech people. We might not love each other. You might not love my nose, but find a way and of living with me. Find a solution. Or let me put it this way: you might be with someone even at work. You don't love your boss. You don't love the way he behaves, how he walks. But you have to find a way of living together because you're put together with a reason. What joins us is bigger than what separates us. And at this time, when the enemy and the people opposing Azimio want, it is this kind of talk where we get to this platform and we are abusing the people. We are saying, he's not important, we can go it alone. You know, that kind of chest thumping. It cannot help. I'll tell you, I wish we knew that even coalitions being made in Israel and Europe, sometimes even people fight. But at the end of the day, they realize, we have a common enemy. Let us. Coalitions are even in Israel. I can tell you, even the guy who won the other day is very young. But they went through so much to remove Netanyahu. It was not easy. People who could not even talked. But for now, because we want Raila Odinga to open the door for other people to lead this country, open the door to be a Mandela of this country, so that at the end of the day, there's an economic revolution. We change the way we do our things. Then we need to be very careful on how we speak. Because I've seen people like even Mutua calling Kalonzo a useless person. You know, he's a leader with his rights. All I want to say is, if at any one point we get to a point whereby instead of focusing on the main goal, we focus now on the things that are differentiating us, yeah, then at the end of the day, you create voter apathy, you create what we call, if for example, there's somebody who believes in Kalonzo, and I think, and we should not take him for granted, the biggest group of Kamba people will follow what Kalonzo tells. That one is, it has been shown through history. Whether he has changed or not, we cannot prove it, because through history, seems they have always believed in him. What we need, and he knows, even Kalonzo knows he cannot surpass Raila. Raila cannot be his running mate. He is not, even age-wise, even material-wise, even speech-wise, everything Raila is ahead. That's a fact. But he also needs that number. He also needs that person. So this time, we don't need to go to start abusing and using those strong words.
But Mr. K, did I think people or the contributors here have been very restrictive on their languages. They've been quite diplomatic, because it also depends with what is on the table. What are they discussing? So if I think we would be lying to ourselves if every other leader in the caliber of Kalonzo Musyoka wakes up any day and comes to present himself with any kind of notion that he has, and people just look at him like that, we won't be knowing what we are saying. But I think calling leaders to order should be part of our goal as voters and as citizens, and it's I think it's people's democratic rights to behave like that. I don't think that I got so tough statement or insulting one. The only thing was just to call Kalonzo to order. I didn't hear any insult. Please, that is
what I heard. Maybe I heard it differently, and maybe my interpretation is wrong. I heard several people saying we can do without him. He can join. I heard those things. Those, they might not be. I don't say they are insults, but they are things that they get people. They get to contradict the main agenda, because I don't think we can stay at this stage. We know there are timelines for elections. Whether Kalonzo likes it or not, or whoever wants to join Azimio wants it or not, there'll come a time whether you have to be on one side. You have to there'll come a time when Raila will choose a deputy president and Kenya Kwanza will choose a deputy president. There will also come a time when they present their papers to the IEBC, and I think that time is fast approaching. So before we get to that time,
let me ask you. I think you are repeating yourself. Let me ask you. You are campaigning, isn't it? Right now,
what?
For your candidate. Are you campaigning for your candidate?
We are discussing. I thought we were.
Of course, campaign is not like when you go to a rally. I think people think it's a rally. Okay, what we are discussing here, if you have a preferred candidate, then it's part of the campaign. So let me ask you. Kalonzo comes with a dossier and he says he wants us to have a honest conversation. But you want us to come here on this channel and deny him that honest conversation. He has, in fact, Makamu Mutua told us that actually Kalonzo came and told us about honest conversation, but told us half the truth. So it's our duty to tell him the other truth. We are not desperate for votes. We are here for a honest conversation for the nation. The nation must have a honest conversation, and whoever will emerge the winner out of that honest conversation, we will celebrate. Me, I'm not even fearful whether Ruto will win or Raila will win. But in a campaign season, we need to have a honest conversation. We need to say that these things are the one killing us as a nation. We will not carry people on the back because we want votes. No. Let's tell people the truth, that the reason why Kenya is not moving forward is because we have been carrying people on the back, and we love them, we call them leaders, but when the time for leadership comes, they are not making decisions. When somebody is dilly-dallying, going back and forth, tell him you are not showing leadership. Don't fear that he will run away with the vote.
Correct.
Sometimes I'm such a tough guy. Me husema, if you tell me that, in fact, hii issue ya kusemanga ati go and you see there will be voter apathy, even 10 Kenyans can determine the destiny of this nation. If you don't know the meaning of voting, why should we carry you to the voting station? You will vote for somebody you don't know. Kaa nyumbani if you don't understand what is going on. Let's have people who understand what is the voting process that give us the right leaders. But sometimes we go give people money, or we carry them to the voting polling station, and even they don't know why they are voting, because they were carried to the voting station, they were told, tick here, go home, and we call that a revolution. That is not a revolution, my friend. So let's tell Kalonzo that this is wrong. Let's tell Ruto this is wrong. Let's tell Raila this is wrong. That is what we are here for. Otherwise, I cannot waste my time on this panel just coming to say, let us, Kalonzo will come, let us pembeleza. That's not what we are here for. We are looking for leaders, and leaders emerge. In times like these, leaders emerge. Those who dilly-dally, history has shown us that in every election, big names have lost value, and the other leaders emerged. These people you are seeing in Naruto were not there. They emerged, and some names were going down. So if Kalonzo dilly-dallies, he will go down and other names will emerge. I don't have a problem with Alfred Mutua. Alfred Mutua is fighting for his space just as the way Kalonzo is fighting to retain his space. So let every leader bargain for what they think is right, and whoever will carry the day, let them carry. We need the votes, yes, but we cannot deny this nation a honest conversation. That's me what I think.
Yeah, you have just, I think okay, so you have commented on exactly what I'm saying. It's only that we are not looking at it in the same way. We are saying, let us have an honest conversation. Kalonzo is fighting for his space, Mutua is fighting for his space. But there is a word known as accommodation. Try to accommodate till when it is not able to be you cannot accommodate anymore. But doesn't mean that because you have this mindset that it has to be this way, then it has to be that way. We have to have unity in diversity. Kalonzo is different, Mutua is different, but if we want everybody, because I think this journey, as much as you don't want to pembeleza votes, I think this journey, it requires everybody to be, and that's what I'm saying about campaigning. You need everybody on board, so that at the end of the day, even when you get to the point whereby you're voting, you're sure that beyond any reasonable doubt, there is somebody who has won with a clear margin, and there will be no problem. So for me, I'm not against him going alone, or I think you got me wrong when I said he needs to be accommodated. There is always a room to give to a particular level and a particular stage and say, now we have listened to you, and now where we have reached, you have to make a decision whether you're going with us or not. That time has not reached. So we cannot rush into saying that now we do not need him, we can go it alone, we don't need votes. I think then we're going to be very...
I think he was doing a hard bargain, and he needs a hard response. He said that I don't mind going to Sekuru. In other words, he says, I'm willing to go it alone, even if I go to Sekuru. And people also say, okay, it's okay, we can still also go. It's a risk. Life is
but
a
even
risk.
Kalonzo, the truth is, whatever he says today is not what he's going to say tomorrow. He can say he's going to Sekuru, and then tomorrow he says, Who told you I want to go to Saikuru? I'll be the government whether you like it or not. We know him.
Mr. K, and that is what we are saying. We are getting tired with those kinds of turn
Don't get tired now, my friend.
Yeah,
I'm saying
we are
don't get
calling him
tired.
to order. We are not going to push that for every day, every time and again. He is coming today, tomorrow he's not coming. So what kind of thing? We want to finalize things so that we move to the next level, Mr. K. We are not going to be expecting Kalonzo to come all the season.
There's a hand there. Yeah, there's a hand there. I think it's Okello. And as Okello and Captain comes in, I want to ask Mr. K. Do you want the leaders you carry them on your back, or you want the leaders who give you direction? They are the ones who should be giving us direction, but not us trying to accommodate them, trying to cajole them, trying to create them space. They are our leaders, for heavenly sake. So they need to give us direction. If they don't, we look for leaders who can give us direction.
And
Captain
there is plenty.
Dennis.
Okay, Mr. K, your opinion is very good, yeah? And just like the way Trump did, yeah, in his election, he used to ask everybody, in fact, mpaka terminally ill, those people who are going to die, he told them, just go and vote and die, yeah? That is accommodating everybody. But look at what Manstivo did today. Manstivo is like that person who goes and opens the catacombs, like from where he opens up graves of things that had been buried, yeah? So that has not arguably reasoned well with the minds of the electorate. Right now, there is a hashtag that is being pushed on Twitter like conman. So it's like, you see, whatever he's doing in the end of justifying his means, he's making the murky waters already very, very muddy already. Such that in his art of negotiation, right now we know everybody is negotiating. Even Kalonzo, we know he's negotiating for place. Yeah? But again, in his negotiation, the way he did it, by opening up that catacomb, it has already smeared mud already. So that is not the way we go, even as we accommodate each other during this time. So at this time, when we are accommodating each other, okay, let us do it with decorum. Decorum requires that all of us know that he is a gentleman. He hears his grievances in an accordingly manner. Not this one of going and calling a presser, and at this presser, you just know out of somewhere that. And by the way, these senators that Wekesa asked of, these guys, Kina Malala, Kina Mutula, these young senators, I've looked at all of them. They all have aspirations. These politicians who are misleading bigwigs. For instance, all of them are like going for governor. Isn't Malala not going for governor? Isn't Mutula? Isn't all of them? So we just require decorum, and everybody gets accommodated. And do you know who is behaving in decorum? Raila. He has not answered that thing again. Don't you see he's silent?
What I'm saying, there was a court case one day. Somebody went to accuse someone that he is enjoying the sun and the moon. But because it is an absurd accusation, what the judge did, he listened to his argument. He said, the moon belongs to me and the sun belongs to me. So after presenting his argument, and the other person who was being accused that the sun doesn't belong to him, the judge now made the decision. Eventually, the time came, and the judge said, according to me, the sun and the moon belongs to everybody. So you are wrong. Your argument doesn't hold water, and that is my final judgment. All I'm trying to tell you is this, that Kalonzo might be very wrong, and I know he is very wrong. In fact, that thing does not stand the test of time. Saying that he has brought those are not even legal documents. It can only be legal if you do it now when the political bill has passed, which now, whenever you do something like that, it is no longer between two people. It is now a public document, It is now deposited with the registrar of political parties. It's something that is known. So let us also listen to him and say, yes, I agreed with him. He's going to support me, whatever happens for the second. But again, this NASA did not win the election. It is also good to know that the argument cannot hold water in 2022 election, because the laws have changed, the game has changed, and the numbers have changed. So what I'm trying to say is, no matter what happens, there will come a time he has to make a decision. Because according to the timetable now, it is in the few months that people are going out to deposit their political parties. That's why they are doing their NDC. I don't know whether Wiper has done its own NDC. The moment you do that and you don't agree on someone, then you decide. There'll come a time you are either here or there. And that is why I'm saying, at this point and this time, I think let him bring it all. Alete hiyo mambo yote tusikize, alafu ende apeleke pale watu wasikizane. Akiapewa argument ambayo itamshinda, akubali ama akatae, tuendelee na maisha. Lakini huwezi kuja useme ai, huyo mtu achana naye, call him in order, he is not in order. No, let's avoid that. That's according to me. Anyway, thank you.
Aya, amepotea.
Ile tu niko tu hapa nasikiza. Unajua hiyo ni opinion yangu. Nilikuwa nataka kuambia kila mtu ako na haki ya kusikizwa, hata kama ako na ujinga gani. I think we are all different, and me, what I know, Mr. Wekesa, is that Kalonzo cannot beat even on one-on-one. He cannot beat Baba.
But let me ask you yourself, are you listening to what you're saying? When you say kila mtu ako na haki ya kusikizwa, and what you are saying, unafikiria it's not the right thing. You should also listen to us. What we are saying, we can listen to Kalonzo, but you should also listen to us. Our opinion is as important as Kalonzo's opinion. It cannot only be him that we listen to him. You also
all
needed to listen to us.
All
I
opinions
listen
are
to you, and we gauge.
all
But we also
opinions.
need to be very sensitive in political season, because we also know the games that are being played. Umeelewa? Someone comes here, mtu anakujia nyuma, anamlipa, anakuambia wewe simama to be destroyed. And the history will tell us, even 2017, someone was used as a spoiler. So you cannot just always be saying, oh, we need to accommodate all people, and you accommodate even thieves in your house. Anaamuka asubuhi anaenda na baiskeli yako na nguo yako na kila kitu. So you need to be sensitive as much as you want to accommodate people. We were accommodating Kinama DVD, and the people knew that they were having night meetings with Ruto. And at that time they went. So you raise your antenna in political season. Not everybody, this double speak, when you see somebody speaks this way, chances are some of them are even broking from both sides. They want to maximize on that. It is good sometimes to call them to order. Because if they see, if the worst thing in Akwanga, even in a relationship, the worst thing is when someone sees you are desperate, he will exploit your desperation. Anasijua, oh mzee, unajua hata nikifanya hivi hawezi because he needs me. So that needs to be balanced. And that's why even when Baba sees that he needs Kalonzo, he has never shown that he desperately needs. By the way, when they left him, all of them, and dissolved NASA, he started from scratch. And he built a movement. And right now they are admiring it. He didn't go begging for them. He just put up his feet and started building a new movement. And now the same movement, they went to Oka, they failed to build their Oka, now they have started coming back. So when they come back and start giving him conditions, and when he was starting Azimio la Umoja from scratch, they were not there, my friend. Tunasema tunyamaze tu. No, we call them to order. Baba has done enough work to build that movement. You don't just come and set rules, change the name, and I need to be your resurrection memorandums that don't exist, and you want them to bind. tutakwambia hapa, my friend, unaleta mchezo. People have worked for this movement to be where it is, to bring in even all those people on board. So you don't just, some people can come in even to rock the ship.
Yeah, that
Yes.
is politics. You know, if anybody is playing that high octane politics, you cannot stop it. People can even send anybody to destroy the other opponent, and that is the end result is what matters. But what I'm trying to say, what you're saying in many words and what I'm saying the same, is only that we are not agreeing on one thing, that time is not yet to dismiss him. There will come a time that
Do you know why
whether
Ruto dismissed a few political parties? He knew there are parties that are supporting him, but there are those coming in as predators and as spies. That's why he refused some coalitions. So as a politician, you make your own judgment. Sio tu kila mtu because you want votes, you bring everybody. Kuna zile unakataa unasema huyu hapana, because you know some of them are spoilers. When we refused, when we talk about democracy in ODM, we believe in democracy. But when you see Jimmy Wanjiki coming as a mole and you just say, oh, we need to show that we have the democratic. No, you need to have sense and see where you're practicing democracy and where someone is coming as a saboteur and you want to give him space at democracy. My friend, you have to exercise your own judgment and see what do I apply, which tools do I use at what time. Ogutu, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you doing today, you people?
We are fine, huh?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the next moderator, Mimi in a checkout, so make your contribution.
Okay. So on Kalonzo, I think Kalonzo is being misled just by, someone has said, by the likes of Mutula, Kalonzo, and those whom I saw at the press conference. So the other time, as you saw in Makueni, how Mutula was beat. And Mutula is like someone who is on a mission to try to prevent any attempt of Kalonzo joining Azimio, and it's like he's one of the advisors of Kalonzo. It's like Malala in Mudavadi's camp. It has some impact, and Kalonzo listens to him because, like last week, Kalonzo made a press conference that he wants to join Azimio, and he came out with a very awkward name, Azimio Oka, or Azimio One Kenya Alliance. Then on Monday they were supposed to have some discussions concerning the deal of Oka and Azimio. Then they just decided to postpone the whole issue and brings in Moses Kuria on board. So I don't know. And the reason Moses Kuria at this moment is just an attention seeker. Moses Kuria has nothing to add either of the sides, either in William Ruto camp or Azimio camp. He's trying to seek the attention of, like today, what he made today is just someone who wants to seek the attention of people. So when you come to Kalonzo, I can give him a benefit of doubt, but what worries me, going back to the NASA deal, and to my knowledge, I realized that Kalonzo was the one who came up with this Oka thing, so that NASA can die. And I can remember all of them resigned, and the only party which remained there was ODM, and ODM also had to resign. They resigned from this coalition. Then he again brings back the same thing. at this moment. Currently, this is a new structure, and it's much different from NASA. And as Salman has said, Uhuru once requested them. I don't know whether it was rumors or that they should come together as NASA so that Uhuru can support them. But they went ahead and dissolved NASA, and right now he's saying that the deal has to be fulfilled so that he can join. He can make a deal with Raila. So I think, for me, if I were Raila or the NASA team, I could have ignored him. And in that case, Kalonzo will be desperate, and definitely he might decide to join us. So I think what Raila is doing is good. Raila should just keep quiet. All the ODM or the Azimio team should not even exchange words with him. Just let him talk. And at a point, he will be more desperate, and he will be ready to join without any condition, or with minimum conditions. Currently, even if Kalonzo joins Azimio or Azimio Oka, the Azimio Oka is formed. I don't suggest Kalonzo be even at the running mate in the Azimio, because it will bring little impact to that. Kalonzo should just join the Azimio. Then the position of the president and running mate should not be something to discuss. That position should be left for other people, because currently Kalonzo is weaker than he was in 2017, and according to statistics, Kalonzo was able to bring 2 million or less, and at the moment he can bring lesser votes than he brought in 2017, because of these three governors and other factors to be considered. So if I was the NASA team, they should go ahead with their preparation. As we know there's a rally tomorrow. They should just go ahead and start campaigning just do the serious campaign. And Kalonzo will make a decision whether he goes it alone or join Azimio or the other side. The decision will lie on him. And what I know that once he saw some seriousness in these people, the Azimio team, he will minimize these conditions. And definitely, I think finally he will work with Baba. So I'm just encouraging the team to just go slow on him. Let him say whatever he can. So things which are not making sense should be ignored. If there's something to be answered, then someone can answer. But at the moment, like what he did here today was not making sense at all. How can you bring the NASA issue on Azimio? This is a new structure, and to make it worse, NASA never managed to rule, even if it existed. So I could have blamed Raila if he decided to go for the second term, yet they agreed to support Kalonzo after the first term. But in this case, Raila never won. Raila was never declared the winner. So, and according to statistics, politics is a game of numbers. And so if you want to defeat, let's say, our opponent, like someone like Ruto, you can't bring Kalonzo on board so that Kalonzo can face off Ruto. that is like committing suicide. It is only Raila who can face Ruto at the moment. And even that's why even all other parties resolved to support Raila, and what you saw at NDC of Jubilee, their support was not on Kalonzo but on Raila. Everyone, the likes of the party leader, even Gilu, their support is on Raila. So if Kalonzo is just bringing confusion to supporters like us, the NASA support, the Azimio supporters like us, and that should not happen. So I think that's my take for now.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. How are you, Nakitare? Penny, are you there?
Hey, niko hapa bwana. Habari yenu wote wazee?
Tuko poa.
Tuko poa. I won't be with you for long, and I just want to come and greet everybody. I'll be joining you guys later. Today I had a chance of watching the full content of Kalonzo Musyoka's personal, he calls it personal statement. I think it was so well calculated, very, very well calculated. The timing was well calculated. And I think, I'm not sure, maybe I'm not so conversant with the politics of Ukambani, although I've got some blood relation from Ukambani, although I come from Wekesa's place. It just reminded me, I think, who was that talking? Moses, you are very right. The instigator of all this information that this guy was trying to put across was Kalonzo, the other Musyoka, the other Kalonzo Musyoka, the other guy who was just next to him. Because about a month ago, I received a tape in a funeral in Ukambani. One of my uncles is related to Agnes Kavindu. Agnes Kavindu happens to be my auntie by proxy. And he actually touched on that, and that the Musyoka will touch on that. I can send it to you if you're into. I don't know if I can trace it, but I can send it to you if you're interested. He touched on this issue, and it was so open. The same thing that this guy was trying to put across is what this guy talked about. Personally, I don't think Kalonzo Musyoka is going to make it. It's just going to be a spoiler. Those 2.5 million votes that he wants to pull away from Rao are just, it's just a spoiler because he won't get anything. He won't run anywhere else right now. If he goes to UDA, I don't think they're going to trust him. And I think Raila is very smart. I know he's going to come up with a solution. I believe the best thing for Raila to do.
Everything has been quiet. We've been busy working.
We're getting information here at the newsroom. The details are still very scant.
Kwani hawa watu ambao wanatuambia saa hii story mingi, kwani sisi hatuwajui? Sisi tunawajua. Ni watu ya kubomoa. Kama hawabomoi chama, wanabomoa nyumba. Kama hawabomoi nyumba, wanang'oa reli. Kama hawang'oi reli, wanatenganisha marafiki. Sasa hii watu ambao tunawaelewa, alafu we are entertaining them for what purpose?
Sorry for that. I don't know where I touched. Sorry for that.
All right. So I'll come back. I won't talk so much. Maybe my talk is one which caused that. That's technology. So what I think is that Raila's lieutenant are going to address that issue, and that should be the way to take him down. They should not push it for a long time, and we're going to see the move he's going to make next. But I don't think Raila's going to give him a chance. It's too late, very, very late. I don't think he'll be of any substance to the Azimio, and the naming of giving the other name to the Azimio. That was a stupid thing to do. Nobody can accept that, because actually he wants to imply that he's part of the whole thing, which is just unacceptable. And I don't think ODM, or rather Azimio people, will accept that. All the same, we are okay. I think this is something that just a wind. It's gonna die off immediately. There'll be some good news coming very soon. I see that. Okay, Raila, we don't need you. That's right. I knew. I didn't see that. I'm very far from there. So that's great. And I knew that's what's going to happen.
That is tomorrow's headline. I think it will ravel a few feathers. It's tomorrow's headline.
That's a very good one, because right now, what will he answer now? Will he start talking negative about him? Will he stop calling him brother after you've given him the truth? I don't need you. That's a good one. He made a blunder. That's a big blunder that Kalonzo made. And I expected that to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen, but it has happened. That's the truth. Raila does not need Kalonzo. With the Kenya backing,
he needs to be pushed to make the decision he wants to make instead of confusing people.
But it's not right now. There's no confusion. He's got to make a decision very fast now. He's been told now. It's now news, whatever. We don't need you. And then everybody will come and second that. We don't need you, Mr. Kalonzo. If that we have got, I'm talking as if I'm a member of the MIO. But the whole thing is that with the governors there, we can chip into that 2.5 million. I'm telling you guys, this is what's going to happen. It's well calculated. Those governors will be winners. And Kalonzo, with time, very soon, will be a nothing. He won't be the kingsman, the pinman in Ukambani. You mark my words. Watch that. Somebody's gonna come up, because it's just blunder. That was a blunder. By going to the closet and bring the old skeleton up, those skeletons are gonna haunt him quite a bit. So that's my take, and I'm not saying this there will be any consequential for whatever action Mr. Kalonzo took. I'm very sorry for him. I feel sad for him. Otherwise, Wendeleni, asanteni sana. I hope you guys have a fruitful discussion. I've got a meeting I've got to attend to shortly, but I'll join you guys later in a few minutes.
Thank you. You will get Themba. Me, I'm signing out also. You're on mute.
Hello, Mr. Wekesa.
I'm saying Wekesa. Yes. Salamia Temba, mwambie nimsalamia sana. Nitamtongea baadaye. Bena amerudi.
Mark, you are appearing twice, so I have to remove one. You will have
sorry about that. Can I comment?
Yes, you can.
Okay. You know, I'm a young voter, and personally, like Kenyan politics, I can't say I'm so much conversant with the politics of Kenya, because I'm a young voter and I don't want to be swayed in a wrong direction. But I feel the only person, me personally, that is my personal feeling, like the person who can show us direction in this country is Raila Amolo Odinga. I've voted for him twice and I'll vote for him. As a young guy, I'm saying that because I'm going to vote for him. And I read so much what I see in televisions, And I've come to learn like politicians do sway us, do influence us as they target us as young men, and they capitalize on that. So like me, wherever I am, I preach to any young guy. In this life, nobody will bring food to your table, but you can't bring food to your table if you have no good leadership. So try to choose your, like, if you're a voter, not like a president or a minister or a governor, MCA will bring food to you as a young man, because we young men, we dream about living good life just because we vote good leaders. But choosing good leaders doesn't mean that you'll have to get food on your table. You have to work. But even if you choose good leaders whom you think as a young man, at the end of the day, you have to work. But that environment comes by the leadership you have brought to the table as a young man. And that's why we young people, we are targeted so much. But they say, paka 2023, sisi ndio hot cake. Everybody wants to target young people because they know we suffer, we have no jobs. At the end of the day, they'll give you money, you'll vote here, you'll vote there. But I wish everybody could see who has the best interests of the country, like the way I see. I don't know if I'm seeing the right thing, but personally speaking, I'm not choosing sides, but I would encourage everybody. Yani ningekuwa na ule uwezo ya kuencourage kila mtu, I could vote for Raila Amolo Odinga ever, because this guy has proved everything. People call him man of violence. Even the president said about that thing. But man of violence doesn't bring peace. Tungekuwa tunapigana kama nchi zingine za Afrika, ni nyingi zinapigana, but people never learn, you know, and that's why unajua these politicians wanatufikia sisi watu ambao tuko na akili kidogo, ambao ni vijana wadogo, kututumia kwa sababu tuna uwezo wa kimaisha. Lakini ukitembea Afrika mzima uone nchi zile zinateseka, sijui unasikia country jeshi imechukua nchi. We Kenya, we are the superpowers of Africa, and that's something I can preach to every young guy in Kenya. We are the superpowers. Every country copies from us, and this 2022 politics is going to shape Kenya to a direction that we will go. So it's upon us to choose, because it wasn't by chance. Right now we are sitting in the Security Council, like we are making decision for Russia. People are fighting there. Si tunafight anga, people are fighting war, but we are making decisions. People don't think, watu wafikiriangi paka hapo. People think about, we need to cheap, yani tunataka cheap life, serikali to provide, and at the end of the day, even this sijui lower cost food, everything, hakuna mali maisha ijaenda juu. Right now, if you go to America, people are suffering. They are crying about pump, the price at the pump. They are crying, and those people produce hata hawauzi mafuta yao. Russia itself, Right now, the war there, you see, countrywide, like people don't think outside the box. We should think outside the box. We shouldn't think about within ourselves.
Sawa sawa.
I feel
Summarize in
like
1 minute
every
now.
young Kenyan could feel that the way I feel. You know, this country tunapelekwa mali vijana kwanza,
Moguzo.
tunapelekwa mali hatufai kupelekwa na hatufai
Moguzo.
kupelekwa hivyo. Me, I can preach, naweza preach vile president alikuwa anasema tuishi na amani na tuone uongozi ni wapi, tusione politician, tuone uongozi. We
Thank
see
you.
a leader, not a politician in life. That is it. That is my contribution.
Thank you. Because today I don't have someone who is taking over, I have to end it here. Thank you for those who have watched and listened to us. We have had a conversation regarding the current affairs of politics. Wewe mwenyewe uliona na macho, ukaambiwa na ukasikia na masikio yako. Uamuzi ni wako. People are making these political decisions. They are moving east, west, coming up with all allegations. But it's you to judge and see whether these are the right leaders we are choosing for this nation. Personally, I would say that Leo Kalonzo alichoma, resurrecting Nasser deal when he was part of the people who killed Nasser. When the president went to him and the rest of the guys, I think the 7 guys, and he asked them, choose amongst the Nasser principles I will support. And instead of choosing, they decided to go and kill Nasser and now come up with something else. Oka wamesunguka na Oka, walitoka tuomoke na Oka, but Oka imeshinda ikibomoka. So we want to leave it there. Let's have another discussion tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. For those who have been reaching us through the comment sections, we appreciate your comments. Those who have commented through extreme language, we ask you to restrain. Hakuna haja ya kuabuse mtu. You just have to be civil. You have to be diplomatic. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Let's meet here in the evening for another conversation.